Hello friends and welcome to Sarat Chandra IAS Academy where your dreams are our mission. This is Yatharth here. Today we'll be discussing about the current affairs and related mapping. So let's come quickly to the first news, that is Nitin Gadkari unveils Greenfield Corridor project for Kerala. So what we need to remember first is the state, that is Kerala. Alright, and what's being unveiled? A Greenfield Corridor project. So this term becomes important to us. What is a Greenfield Corridor? Corridor basically means a highway or expressway. So what are expressways, what are highways, and how they are different to the normal roads? So these are the terms important for us. Let's see one by one. So in a significant boost to the infrastructure, Union Minister for Road Transport and Highways Nitin Gadkari announced a Greenfield Corridor project aimed to enhancing road connectivity in the state, that is Kerala. Recently we talked about Kerala with the issue of Mullaperiyar Dam on the Periyar River. There's also Idukki Dam in the state of Kerala that you can read about. Okay, so expressways, they are the highest class of road in India. They have a highest speed allowed of 120 kmph, and they are controlled access highways where entrance and exits are controlled by the use of Cloverfield or trumpet or grade separated interchanges that are incorporated into the design of the expressway and designed for maximum speed. Alright, basically you cannot just enter into an expressway from anywhere, any certain road. Okay, that is a feature of highways. So national highways are flyover access or tolled, where entrance and exit is through the side of the flyover. At each intersection of highway with road, flyovers are provided to bypass the city, town, village traffic, and these highways are designed for a speed of 100 kmph. That is maximum safe speed allowed. Alright, so Delhi-Mumbai Expressway does not exist right now, it's not open, will be the longest expressway in India. It is expected to be completed by the end of 2026. Right now, Mumbai-Pune Expressway is the first 6-lane operational expressway in India, started in 2002. The longest expressway in India is Mumbai to Nagpur Expressway at 600 km distance, and the widest expressway is the Delhi-Dasna, that is on UP border. Sections of the Delhi-Meerut Expressway with 14 lanes, which was opened in 2021. Alright. So when we talk about the Greenfield Expressway, they are designed to avoid inhabited areas and go through new alignments to bring development to new areas, first of all, and to reduce land acquisition costs and constructions in timelines. So basically, instead of going like this, they just go straight through a new field, that is a greenfield. Unlike many regular expressways that are upgraded versions of existing roads, greenfield expressways are built on entirely new alignments. This avoids the need for land acquisition from densely populated areas or existing infrastructure, minimizing disruption and speeding up construction. Let's talk about the developmental impact of greenfield expressways. So they are not just about transportation. They are also planned as catalyst for economic development. They aim to connect key economic hubs, boost regional development, as well as generate some employment for the regional people. Alright, so what's important for us here is seeing the pattern of arrangement of highways in India, or how they are subjected to nomenclature. Alright, so let's talk about this. So all the highways running in the east to west directions have odd numbers. For example, NH7, which is National Highway number 7. So we can see that 7 is an odd number. It's not divisible by 2. So NH7 is running from Punjab to Uttarakhand. So what we see, it's running between the two directions, that is east to west or west to east. Alright. So also for the odd number highways, the numbers are arranged in an increasing or the ascending order from north to south. So what we see is that, just a second, if we plot a graph in India, so NH1 should be somewhere here, NH2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and let's say 7. So how do we come down? North to south and east to west. Alright, so this order will be ascending odd numbers. So 1, 3, 5, let's say 7. I mistakenly counted the even numbers also. So 1, 3, 5, 7 basically, the odd numbers. So such as NH1 runs in Jammu and Kashmir and NH11 in Rajasthan here, let's say. So 7 to 9 and then 11. So these will be the odd numbers. Alright, let's go forward. So all the highways running in the north to south directions have even numbers. So naturally we are left with the even numbers because these highways, whichever were running from west to east, east to west, we allocated them the odd numbers. Now we are left with the even numbers. So all the highways with even numbers are going between the north to south direction. So NH44, let's say we talk about this. It's running from Srinagar to Kanyakumari. So 44 is an even number divisible by 2 directly. Alright, so we occur to know about this that it should be a highway between north to south. Alright, so how to remember this information that we have studied till now? So east to west are odd and north to south are even. So we can remember something like NSE or EVO. EVO is a very good word to remember. EVO or NSE. NSE is also very famous, National Stock Index, equity, whatever. So you can just remember in some or this way. So how do we remember? EVO or NSE, National Stock Exchange. Alright, so in this way you can remember. Alright, so as for the even numbered highways, the number are arranged in an increasing or ascending order from east to west. Alright, so let's make a square. Okay, so how do we see that these numbers, these are odd and small. Alright, and these are even and small here. Small even and big even. And these are small odds and big odds. Okay, so such as NH2, now it's a small even number. So it should be where? East direction and going towards north to south. So such as NH2 runs from Assam to Mizoram and NH12 runs in West Bengal. So now we progress from 2 to 12, 2, 4, 6, 8, 12 and we come towards this direction. Alright. So how are branches of highways numbered? So the branches of highways numbered are denoted by 3-digit numbers such as branches of NH44 are 144, 244, 344 and so on. Okay, so NH44 should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 544 let's say. So branches of subsidiary are numbered by placing an alphabet A, B, C or D in the 3-digit number. Alright, so again we follow the same pattern. Let's say this is NH44. Now it has one branch going from west to east direction. So again we'll allocate the odd number here 1. And any branch that's going towards the north-south direction we'll allocate an even number, let's say 2. Then there is 3, then 344A, 344B. Alright. So NH44 is the longest national highway in India running from Srinagar to Jammu and Kashmir and Kanyakumari in Tamil Nadu. Okay, so this is NH44. We know that it's an even number 44. So north to south direction. Alright. And it's towards here this side in let's say center or more towards the west, then it's a big even number. So at 3745 km long, it also passes through Himachal Pradesh here, Punjab here, Haryana here, Uttar Pradesh here, alright, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh and Karnataka as well as Tamil Nadu here. It does not pass through the Rajasthan. Alright, or Gujarat. So these states, please remember, they are not included, or let's say Chhattisgarh or Jharkhand or Bihar or these states, Odisha, it does not pass through these states. Alright, so one question in prelims came from here in the last exam about the golden quadrilateral and the highway connection. So golden quadrilateral is this: Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai and Kolkata, and there's a chain of highways connecting these. The question came on this, that north-south corridor joins these cities and east-west corridor joins these cities. So the question was exactly on this, the east-west corridor. Alright, so you can remember and learn about these things, which cities go through this. So I've already posted a lecture on YouTube about this, you can see there. Alright, let's move to the next news, which is Cabinet clears Prithvi program for Earth observation and satellite project with the Mauritius. So Prime Minister Narendra Modi has unveiled this program. So the Union Cabinet cleared 4,000 crore program called Prithvi, that is expected to subsume 5 existing schemes of the Ministry of Earth Sciences, that is MOES. So these programs are to improve and increase long-term observations of the atmosphere ocean, geosphere, cryosphere, and solid earth to track changes in the planet. Develop models to understand and predict weather, ocean, and climate hazards, and understand the science of climate change. Explore polar and high seas region of the earth to discover new phenomena and resources. Recently, we read about the Arctic base camp of India, the 365 days research camp of India. We also talked about the Antarctic research camps. Alright, so you can read or revise them from this news, and you can connect these news actually. Alright, this is the easiest way to remember the previous news, that whenever new news come, you just put out the previous data into the new news into a mind map section. Alright, and I have already posted all the notes on Telegram channel, so you don't need to search a lot. Just see a lecture, search for the see a lecture, and you will find all the notes of current affairs. Alright, so it will explore polar and high sea region of the earth to discover new phenomena and resources and develop technology for exploration and sustainable harnessing of ocean resources for societal applications and translate knowledge and insights from earth systems into service for societal, environmental, and economic benefit. A major component of ministry is the deep ocean mission. So this is very important part of MOES missions or DOM. One of those objectives is to send a manned submarine 6,000 meters into the Indian Ocean. For reference, the height of the Everest is around 8,300 meters. Alright, so the DOM was cleared by the cabinet in 2021 at an outlay of 4,000 crore for 5 years. Alright, next thing is satellite for Mauritius. So the cabinet also approved an agreement between the ISRO and Mauritius Research and Innovative Council (MRIC) to jointly develop a small satellite. So these satellites don't matter a lot. What they actually show is cooperation between, let's say, India and these countries. That India is helping them to create something. So India has to have its presence in both the Arabian Sea in this region. So recently we saw another news where in the Gulf of Aden, ship was rescued by the Indian Navy, and India has to act in this direction also. Alright, so only then we'll be able to increase our influence in African subcontinent. So this is also a step in that series only. Alright, so India and Mauritius have history of cooperation since the 1980s when ISRO established a ground station in Mauritius for tracking and telemetry support for ISRO's launch vehicle and satellite missions. So recently ISRO also launched 3 satellites, geosynchronous satellite and geostationary satellite, as I told you, with the Falcon 9 rocket of SpaceX company. In the last lecture we talked about that. So we need to be close to equator because of these things. Alright, and so we can place our satellite here in the Mauritius. So you can learn the location of Mauritius and some islands around it. Okay, one thing, the next news is GST revenues reveal a dissonance in the consumption growth across states. So here the important term for us is consumption growth. So what is consumption growth? So consumption growth in the Indian economy refers to the increase in spending by the households and businesses on GST over a specific period. So basically how much money people are willing to spend. So it completely went down during the COVID period. Everybody was saving money because nobody was actually earning money except for some pharmaceutical and medical companies. So now the consumption growth has increased after the COVID. Alright, there was a question also in the mains GS3 about the K-shape economy. So some people were going up, some people were going down, especially the tourism sector was doing well after the COVID, while some things were still going down. Alright, so that's not of much concern right now. What's concerned is the consumption growth across states. So some states are expanding a lot, some are not basically. So it's a crucial indicator of economic health and plays a major role in driving India's GDP growth. So what is the recent trend? India's consumption growth has been robust in recent quarters, exceeding analyst expectations. In the second quarter of 2023, that is July to September, it is estimated to have grown around 7%. But all the states are not expanding equally. Alright, the next news is DRDO's anti-drone, which is the technology that is ready now. It's handled to private investor and BEL. So the counter drone system developed by the DRDO, Defense Research and Development Organization. Please remember, it's not a simple building. Let's say this is DRDO. It's an organization. It has many labs at many places, various different places. There is a headquarter, but there are multiple labs and offices, spaces into the India. So DRDO is ready for production and was already demonstrated to armed services and other internal security agencies with some orders already placed. The DRDO is now focusing on high endurance UAV, that is unmanned aerial vehicle, while the capability for smaller drones exists within the industry. So DRDO has basically readied a technology that is anti-drone technology. Just remember that. So DRDO, let's talk about this establishment. It was founded in 1958 through the merger of Technical Development Establishment, Directorate of Technical Development and Production, and Defense Science Organization. This DSO was the biggest organization back then. So from the DSO it became DRDO. After some more organizations were merged in this. So aim is to provide military technologies for the Indian Armed Forces. Armed Forces mean all the forces, whether it is Air Force, Navy or the Army. Alright. Please just remember this thing, two things, that it comes under Ministry of Defense. It does not come under Home Ministry as some people confuse sometime. Alright, it does not come under the Home Ministry, it comes under the Ministry of Defense. The first thing. Second thing is Balasya Moolam Vigyanam. They are basically telling that the basis of any strength is science. So this is the motto. Please remember the motto as it keeps coming in various different examinations. And just remember the establishment date. Headquarters is in Delhi, India, which is the capital of India. It comprises over 50 laboratories and establishments across India, specializing in various military research and developmental fields. Alright, moving forward, study revives South Korea's superconductivity claim with new data. So a group of scientists affiliated with research institute in China and Japan have reported finding a sign of superconductivity in a material that was at the center of controversy last year over similar claims. So the important point here is not China, Japan or any other country. The important thing is superconductivity. What is this superconductivity and what is Meissner's effect? Alright, so we need to see this because it can come anytime into the prelims. What usually happens when after the prelims paper everybody keeps on analyzing, we also analyze that where the questions came from. Okay, this is where the question will come from. So let's talk about this. So what is the Meissner's effect? So say a material is inside a magnetic field and then the material physical conditions are changed such that it becomes a superconductor. So there are three types of materials. One are the conductors, which conduct electricity, let's say. Some are insulators, which do not conduct electricity or electric fields. Third are semiconductors. Semiconductors are very important because we can control how much electricity we want to conduct through them and what type of signal we want to pass through them. Insulators are of different uses in various different applications. While we talk about the conductivity, we are seeking for a material where the conductivity is absolute. That means the resistance becomes zero. Alright, so that is a superconductor. So what will happen if any electric field is passed through a superconductor? The electrons or electric field will come to the surface because it will have no resistance towards the or across the bulk of the material. It will just come on the surface. Alright. So as it transitions to its superconducting state, the material will expel any magnetic field in the bulk to the surface. This expulsion is called the Meissner's effect, and this effect is the determining effect to find whether any material is superconducting or not. So it is one of the few effects certain material exhibit when they are able to conduct electric currents without any resistance, when they become superconductors. The researchers have reported in their paper that they observed the Meissner's effect in a compound called copper substituted lead apatite. Alright, so question can come like this. So recently a material, copper substituted lead apatite, had been let's say stated to display superconductivity. Which effect determines that material is superconductor? So there can be four options, let's say. So Meissner effect will be the answer. Scientists know many type of materials that become superconducting in different conditions, metals, metallic compounds, etc. What is there special in this that they want a superconductor at the room temperature? Alright, usually what happens when something is cooled down to absolute zero or very high temperature, then it becomes a superconductor. What we want is it to be a superconductor at a room temperature. Just a second. Alright, so many scientists are looking for a material that becomes superconducting at the room temperature and pressure, that is RTP. Aside from scientific curiosity, such a material would have application worth several $1 billion. So basically, if resistance is ousted from any application, the conductivity will become infinite because conductivity is inversely proportional to the resistance. And we will be losing low energy. Alright, V is equal to IR. You know this, R is equal to V upon I. So if R becomes 0, resistance becomes 0. Alright, V is equal to 0. Let's say there will be no potential difference between any 2 points if the resistance is 0. So whatever electricity we send from here, complete current or complete electricity will reach to the other point regardless of any distance between the locations. Alright, so this will have much use. Could be used to make wires that transport electricity with zero loss. Such transmission losses are the largest source of electric energy loss in the world today. Alright, let's see the next thing. Swiss Thai groups close first sale of Paris Agreement carbon offsets. So this was according to the Paris Agreement. This is just news which tells that Paris Agreement of 2015 is working nicely. So Thai electric bus operator said that it has sold the first carbon offset under a new system created by the Paris Agreement to a Swiss fossil fuel group, a major landmark for putting into action the 8-year-old United Nations Climate Accord. The 2015 Paris Agreement allows for government and companies to offset some of their greenhouse gas emissions by paying for steps to cut climate pollutant elsewhere. These offsets are packaged as credits, each equivalent to reducing 1 metric ton of carbon dioxide emissions. What is the Paris Agreement? It is a legally binding international treaty on climate change. It was adopted by 196 parties at the UNCCC, COP21 in Paris. Please remember this number of COP21. Alright, in Paris, France, on December 12th, 2015. It entered into force on 4th November 2016. What are the main points from Paris Agreement? One is the global temperature goal. So keep it below 2 degrees Celsius. Pursue efforts to 1.5 degrees Celsius. Please also remember this temperature in Fahrenheit. In one exam, this question was asked while temperature was in Fahrenheit and many people were confused. National commitments, countries set their own targets, NDC. So India's NDC 2070 net zero. Alright, and it has some other NDC also, please note them down. Developed versus developing. So India is coming into the developing countries. Its goals are different. Adaptations. Alright, there was a loss and damage fund also in this recent COP. Market mechanism such as, let's say, this carbon offset market, etc. Technology transfer, this was done during the COVID time and other many times. Equity and fairness, and regular updates on this Paris Agreement. Alright, so this was about the Paris Agreement of 2015 and the current affairs for this lecture. So I'll be seeing you in the next lecture. This is Yatharth here signing off. Thanks a lot for your presence and I hope to see you in the next lecture very soon. Have a good day.